You hear the screeching of an owl, you hear the wind begin to howl. You know there's zombies on the prowl, and it's terror time again. They've got you running through the night. It's terror time again, and you just might die of fright. It's a terrifying time.
Hello everyone, Core is back with another beginner's guide video. Today's topic of choice is covering the top 10 mistakes that new players will make when they first start playing the game. These are mistakes that will often ruin a situation, if not an entire run. Before I begin, I want to give a shout out to Katophoenix for her fantastic artwork yet again. Now grab your popcorn and let's learn from others' fuck ups, shall we? One of the biggest fuck-ups any new player will make is seeing a gun and thinking, this is what the easy win button will be. To quote Max Brooks' Zombie Survival Guide, many a dead survivor was found clutching these miracle weapons. Simply put, while yes, a gun can be an effective way to kill off a zombie or two, it'll also ring the dinner bell for the entire neighborhood. Or if it's a shotgun, your entire section of town. Much like a house alarm. Not to mention the fact that at low levels, the only gun you'll have any real proficiency with is the shotgun. If you want to reliably kill a zombie or two, that is. Panic setting in from the hordes surround you will make that aim go down even faster, make you miss what should have been basic shots. I'd recommend you find a safe place you can train up your skills before putting these tools to use in a large-scale situation. And consider making a character built for using guns, such as using Veteran if you plan to make guns a big part of your run. Probably one of the biggest run enders of new players, those who have managed to learn how to not be eaten for a week or two at least. This is definitely one hell of a shock. I mean, you hear a chopper overhead and the next thing you know you've got the undead pounding on all your windows and doors, trying to follow after it, and if they see or hear you, they'll break off pursuit of the chopper to chomp you. So is this what canned food feels like? I'm guessing so. But another mistake new players make is being out while the helicopter is active. If the chopper spots you, it will lock onto your position and pursue you until it's time for the helicopter to break off pursuit. And in doing so, will bring every one of those zombies following its noise right on your head. Another big thing new players do is bite off more than they can chew. Maybe you want the gas station, but you don't have a Molotov to burn out the hordes. You think, oh well, I can take them, my bat will crack some skulls. The next thing they know, they're being munched on by 10 zombies and shuffling off to find more survivors. To combat this, slow down, appraise the situation, and come up with a plan. Don't just run in swinging, that never ends well in this game. If you're trying to deal with a large horde situation, then use stealth. Pull off small groups of 1 and 2 and pick them off, working your way through them. Keep an eye on your back, make sure nothing comes up behind you as well. And if the situation starts to go bad, know when to run and fight another day. Your life's not worth that can of gas, and it's not worth dying over something you could find somewhere else. From the moment you begin a game, you're running against 3 clocks. 4 if you want to count the media blackout. Water and power will eventually shut off, and the helicopter will eventually come and test your preparedness to run, hide, or fortify a position and fight it out. Water and power could shut off at literally any moment. I've had them shut off on the first day before, and they'll typically shut off within the first 2 weeks. You'll want to be stockpiling rations of clean drinking water, fill up as many containers as you can, because odds are you're not going to have rain collectors set up yet. Same with power, it's going to fail in the same time span, so gather as many non-perishables as you can. Another thing you need to keep an eye out for is a generator. The magazine for how to use generators and fuel. Once you have that, you can keep your house's power on, which will let you keep a fridge and freezer going for the long haul. Once the media blacks out, you're not going to be able to get free levels for skills from the TV anymore, or be able to use the radios to cure your boredom with music or programs. And the final clock? Well, the helicopter will come for you after about 7 to 12 in-game days. Use the guides and be ready to do something.
Shame on you, you greedy guts. Thought you could outwit an onion.
Oftentimes, a player will try to carry way too much equipment on them at once. Do you really need a saw, a hammer, a crowbar, a screwdriver, and a blowtorch on you at all times? Not to mention, greedy players will try to pull out 2 or even 3 bags of loot out on a supply run at once, and they'll remove their main method of self-defense and be limited to either running away, pushing the zombies away ineffectually, or putting some of your loot down to draw a weapon and fight them off. Be a good survivor. Don't be a greedy guts. One of the biggest skills a new player needs to learn is prioritization. Is that shotgun really more necessary than the 4 kilos of food you could carry in its place? Do you really need a sledgehammer when you don't even have a base? Don't get bogged down grabbing the biggest and shiniest gear you can find. Another example of prioritization. You just broke into a house, and oh shit, the house alarm just went off. You've got about 5 to 10 seconds of looting you can realistically do before the house begins being assaulted from all entrances by the undead attempting to make their way in. Dawdle too long, you're going to be trapped in a small building that is rapidly filling from every single entrance with zombies. Not a fun prospect for anyone but the suicidal and the insane.
I'm gonna step on the gas and be a lover. I'll be so quick as a flash.
Another mistake new players often make is rushing into situations far too quickly. You see a group of zombies and you think, oh yeah, that's not that many, I could take them. Then you round the corner and see another 2 dozen more, and now they're all shuffling towards you. In this game, it pays dividends to take things slowly and stealthily when you can, and if you rush things now, it'll often lead to a time crunch later. If you rush in and try to fight everything, you'll wear out, and eventually you'll have no options to rush out later, because then you'll be too worn down and tired to keep fighting or to even keep running effectively. New players will often look at perks and pick something because it sounds cool, but without knowing what it does or how effective it really is. Take Engineer for example. On the surface, yeah, being able to get a carpentry boost is nice, and being able to level up one of the slowest skills in the game faster is a pleasant boost. And being able to take advantage of the crafted specialty weapons such as the incendiary bombs are fun, you lose out on a lot of other more useful professions that matter to a character's long-term health. And you may not be able to get the resources that you need to craft most of the specialty explosives anyways. Go for perks and traits that'll help you survive longer or provide bonus bonuses for fending off the hordes. On this topic, there's a lot of negative perks that on the surface don't sound so bad, but can be downright crippling in the wrong circumstances. Take hemophobic for example. Before its nerf, it used to only make it so you couldn't heal others and you would panic when you are bleeding. Now you get anxious if your clothes get bloody, and in many situations you don't have the time or resources to clean yourself off, which will lead your character to start spiraling into depression.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done.
Oh boy, you just found your first car that's functional. It's time to go Mad Max on these zombies, right? Run them down, maybe. Nope. Not today. Vehicles, while definitely a strong survival tool, if misused will kill you just like any other threat in this game. Not only is running down hordes with a vehicle terrible on said vehicle, and will degrade its durability rapidly, it's also a great way to get dragged out of your car kicking and screaming once they shatter your windows and reach in after you. Especially if the constant battering your vehicle takes causes its engine to stall out and die on you, leaving you in the horde. While vehicles do have the potential to also make effective bases, try to not make a habit of sleeping in your car unless you're far away from a major population center, that zombies are unlikely to happen upon your vehicle in the dead of night. Fire. Fire has been an effective tool for humanity since the dawn of man, and in Zomboid this still holds true. However, fire still poses as much danger to oneself as it does the horde of undead. It's very easy to accidentally set yourself alight if you run through a fire you made, or a flaming zombie has left a trail following it. Or even worse, if a flaming zombie managed to grab a hold of you and ignite you as well. Now you're fighting off a zombie while also panicking about being on fire. And be careful with the Molotovs. It's quite easy for a new player to toss one wrong, run through where it's about to come down, and ignite yourself that way as well. Treat fire with the respect it's earned, or you're about to get a one-on-one reenactment of a gender reveal party. Well, that just about wraps up this video. I hope you've learned about some of the mistakes that are easy for a new player to make, and will often get you killed in your first dozen or 2 hours. The biggest thing to remember is to take your time and approach things cautiously. Now before I go, I want to give another shout out to Katophoenix for her awesome artwork, remind you to check down below for her and my social medias. I'd also like to thank Scuba Palm for the request to make a video on this topic. I hope you enjoyed, mate. This has been Core, and I'll see you next time.